Hello, I'm Delusion Dispeller. Continuing on. Sorry, I have to get to my notes here. Okay, we talked about loving other people. The Bible talks about how in the last days people will be lovers of themselves. And I don't think that means you're not supposed to love yourself, because he also says in the Bible, love your neighbor as yourself. But we're talking about a self love, like as if a selfish love, like you put yourself before everybody all the time. You're always looking for me, meet all my needs, do for me, me. That is the narcissist right there, lover of self, selfish self-love. They have a love for their false self. They present the image to you that they want you to believe, they want you to adore. It's all about idolatry, self-idolatry, or in their case, false self-idolatry. So no, they can't be Christians if they're in love with their false self more than God. God says, have no other gods before me. The narcissist, in essence, is his own God and is having a God before our God, Yahweh. And Paul says in the Bible that men will be lovers of themselves. So there you go. All right. Now let's talk about that a minute. In order to love another person, you must love yourself to an extent. You have to take care of your needs. You have to eat right. You need to exercise, which is something I need to do more of. I admit that. You need to make sure you're hanging around with people that are healthy for you and not Debbie Downers, people that are always depressed and miserable and not very healthy for your environment to be around. A narcissist really does not have a love for his true self. He doesn't even know his true self or her true self. He has a deep hatred for himself that he daily attempts to disown, or she attempts to disown. They do this by creating that false self. That's how they disown the real self that's been wounded, that's been neglected, that's been put up on a pedestal as a child and never allowed to be real. So they create this false self so they don't have to deal with the feelings and the hurts and the emotions from way back when. They obtain their narcissistic supply through this false self. What is narcissistic supply? This right here can tell you that they are in idolatry. Their supply source is adoration of themselves, their false self, love of their false self, respect of that false self, being feared by another person, having that false self be so intimidating and demeaning and degrading and domineering that another person would cower in their presence. Again, that's putting themselves up in an idolatrous situation as a God, small g, although they may see themselves as God, big G. However you want to put it. The point is, you cannot worship God and worship self at the same time. It does not work. It is not Christianity. The Bible tells us another thing, to not store up our treasures on earth and to not be a lover of money. That's one thing. The narcissist tends to love money. Why? Because it makes him or her appear successful and wealthy. It makes that false self look like something desirable. It woos people in, it draws them in and seduces them. Money is actually the narcissist's substitute for love, and it's a tool used to manipulate and control others. The narcissist boasts about the finances that they have in order to have people admire and envy them. The narcissist feels entitled to also have the money of other people, and he'll spend money that he doesn't really possess because he lives in his mind as a wealthy person. He sees himself as this king, or she sees herself as this queen that everybody should kowtow to, even though that's not really the case. This is called grandiose thinking. When the narcissist gets upset, he or she will often spend money compulsively. Debt is very common for them, so they'll do whatever it takes to get the money that they need, even stealing sometimes. I've seen this in multi-level marketing situations. It's always the inner people, the ones that got in on the ground floor, that are making money off of the other ones. And there's often a lot of narcissism in there. If I once had a, what do they call them? The person that's in charge of your downline, whatever the word is for them, become very, very controlling of me and insinuate that you're not trying hard enough. You don't really want this. You need to build our line and you need to get out there and get people into this business. It was all about money, all about success. And it was not about my success. It was about theirs. Stay tuned for the next video. Thanks for watching.